Yes, I am wearing a new shirt. It's a very long and traumatic story, for another time. The contradictors. At this point in my experience and observations of ENTPs in the wild, I'm quite sure that ENTPs display a kind of revulsion at certainty. When someone is very sure of themselves, the temptation to burst their bubble verges on irresistible. I've even witnessed ENTPs kind of watching someone very self-confidently assert things, and I can see that bubbling, boiling desire to cut them down rising up in the ENTP, a sort of intellectual agitation that is very fun to watch. Fun and slightly unsettling, depending on the social context. Even when the ENTP agrees with the person, they still want to prod and poke. For the ENTP, this impulse or tendency shows up regardless of the person's demeanor. It doesn't need to be a cocky or arrogant person. It's simply the certainty, the lack of nuance in an argument, belief, or opinion. That alone is enough of a red flag for their bullish rebuttals. Dare I say that I think that's where the trolling impulse comes from as well. When you think of the bang for your buck, to use an Americanism, of simply writing a comment online and just injecting that little bit of doubt, uncertainty, and calling into question a person's stable foundations, again, to ENTPs, kind of hard to resist. So I posed the question to the ENTPs on the Love Who Discord server to see what they thought about the concepts of uncertainty and neutrality. I'm going to read out some quotes from them. Uncertainty is also possibility. I don't think that's surprising to hear from an ENTP. That desire to keep options open is really pervasive in their life. Never belonging anywhere. That one surprised me at first, but it makes sense. Having SI as their inferior function means that they aren't grounded as much, but also having FI as a blind spot means that it will take them a long time to settle on values that they want to stand by and fight for. It's not that they never will, it's just that with personality types, we're talking about preferences and spectrums, and ENTPs will be one of the last to do this. They don't like the feeling of committing, well, to anything. What neutrality gives me is balance. When you think about what being a devil's advocate achieves, it's balance. It's seeing both sides. It's giving equal airtime to all views. So I think that uncertainty, possibility, and balance are a kind of ENTP triumvirate. True for now. Isaac Newton was one of Einstein's heroes, hardly surprising. But Einstein had to challenge and overturn many of Newton's ideas of the universe and what it was, such as Newton's notion that the universe was this static stage, a kind of background on which things happened, as opposed to Einstein's more fluid and interactive space-time. Science is often like that. You have to destroy the truths of the past. Now, a natural reaction to that might be, you can't really call them truths. After all, they were wrong. And yes, that is true, but I'm trying to convey the mindset, a mindset that I think ENTPs naturally possess. It's the ability to balance and contend with these two conflicting ideas at the same time. One is that you will fight for what you think is right, logical, valid, and true, whilst also being quite confident that somewhere down the line, 5, 10, 100 years, someone will come along and challenge it, and show that some parts of it are wrong, or all of it is wrong, and that's totally fine. This notion that progress is a constant process of destroying what was, even if you're sure that what was, at the time, good, logical, and made sense, is something that ENTPs understand intuitively. This paradox that they contend with so easily and naturally is why I call them masters of the art of uncertainty.